Greetings and God bless. I wanted to share a revelation I had that it seems to me, sorry about that, steampunk, steampunk is very Tartarian, just I mean, of course, it's an exaggerated, fantasy v- um, exaggeration, but it still is. Uh, Depicting, however cluelessly, about Antiquitech. And then looking at the imagery of the Harry Potter stories that were written, according to this other stream of thought, because J.K. Rowling is, according to the decoding or the what's called trans investigation. That one is actually a male to female, just as many apparent females are, like sportscasters or presidents' wives or movie stars, female musicians, even cheerleaders and porn stars. They're male to female fashion models. Victoria's Secret was she was a man. So, anyways, there's like this was the theory about authors actually the books being written by committee has been around since from when I first heard of it in the 90s, that Shakespeare was written possibly by committee. Because if you look at the standard signature that we know to be Shakespeare's signature, each letter is taken from several different signatures. So it's like 14 different signatures, and each letter of the name is extracted. The nicest written, executed letter was depicted in it. So it's a composite, just sort of like how the picture of that NASA shows of Earth, or Earth from a distance, or space, those are CGI. Well, that's pretty much history. So those of you who follow Tartaria and Mudflood and learning about Antiquitech, learning about harvesting energy from antenna and the ether, we're aware that history is not what we are told, or the truth is not what we're told. And we're finding this now with current events in terms of things that I can't say because even if, because YouTube has the Big Brother fat Czechoslovakians, fact Czechoslovakians just don't like what I have to say. But so it seems like the steampunk and the J.K. Rowling Hogwarts, just all the visuals, whether it's in the books or in the movies, it's all referring to Tartaria, in my opinion. What we know to be, because it's these exquisite old buildings with complex architecture, grand architecture, an incredible aesthetic that is just so healing to look at. The visuals of it does something for our hearts and our minds and our souls. And if we look at the communist agenda, their goal is to make ugly art, feature ugly art in major cities. And it's probably not even art, right? It's just ugliness. Because when humans are surrounded by sterile, clinical, or just disgusting grotesqueness, it affects us. So, and that's what we're seeing in media. That's what was it? The biggest story about somebody being violent against somebody else. That's grotesque. That's not manly. And of course, those people are female to male transsexuals. So you will find these greatest scandals that are trying to emulate the worst of a particular gender, but it's because their gender is in question. That is my theory. Um, so when, let's say, a man is punching another man, we think, oh, that's just some man out of control. But when it's a female to male transsexual punching another female to male transsexual, it's a cover. Isn't that a very good cover? It's kind of an obvious deception for those who are kind of experienced, and who are aware that there's this major deception going on. And of course, there's more sophisticated kind of. I mean, it seems sophisticated if you're unprepared, but there's just a lot of deception, and it's pretty obvious once you just take a step back. So I just wanted to throw that out there about steampunk and Hogwarts, the J.K. Rowling the Harry Potter universe. That it's really fictionalizing Tartaria. It's fictionalizing the Mudflood resets. It's fictionalizing Antiquitech. And, because when everything's made silly, when everything is made a conspiracy, and when history is nameless, then it's just easier to create a false narrative, it seems to me. So I just wanted to throw that out there, see what folks think, and God bless.